we read to you an extract from Chapter 5 of the Egyptian Arch Gnosis, Volume 2, by Jan van Reichenberg. The word man is derived from manas, which means thinker, someone who knows the truth and wisdom of God, and who knows God's plan. The men of the beginning were called to fulfill the divine laws in the vast universe of the seventh cosmic domain, to put the knowledge of God's plan into practice with the aid of what was made available to them by the creations of the nature gods, the rectors. In the garden of the gods, everything was made available to them, to men. It was granted to them to multiply by splitting the spirit, which means as God out of God, as spirit out of spirit. In this way, the universe of the seventh cosmic domain was filled with glory. There is a universally applicable law of nature which links together everything in the entire universe and organizes all the multiplicities of creations and forces, movements and actions into one single faculty. This law of nature can be described as a key power. It is a tremendously powerful faculty. In mythology, this primordial power, this basic law of creation, is called Nemesis, which means that it always remains the same, that it cannot be affected. That is why in the Greek world of ideas, Nemesis is referred to as the goddess of avenging justice, who punishes vice and persecutes every misdemeanor and every delinquency. Another name for this primordial power is karma. As a principle, it is absolute and unchangeable. That is why it was once said in the universal doctrine that karma nemesis creates peoples and mortals. But once created, it is they who make karma nemesis either a fury or a rewarding angel. Indeed, wise is he who venerates Nemesis. Perhaps you will now understand what happened in the distant past. Part of mankind abandoned the wisdom of the spirit and experimented on its own. At the same moment, Nemesis appeared as a correcting one. God cannot forsake the works of his hands. The correcting law of nature appeared. In this way, the fire of disaster was ignited in the vast universe. The violation of this law was answered by the fire of faith. In this maelstrom, man was cut off from the spirit. In this state, he was man, manas, thinker, only in name. In his lack of wisdom, he began to serve the various gods of nature. But however each planetary deity, each planetary power of nature differs from every other, these powers of nature cannot do otherwise than accomplish the mandate of creation. Since the planetary powers are servants of mankind, you can imagine how, through a degenerated mankind, the planetary powers were continually pushed out of equilibrium, and consequently were corrected by fate, by Nemesis. So worlds perish through fire. So unholiness invokes new unholiness and counter natural forces. So mankind stands in the atmosphere of the malignity of ignorance, ignorance of the original human state of life. However, a way of redemption does exist. May we be able to see and comprehend this path.